All right, what's up, Alina? Need to catch my breath a little bit, but I'm making this video specifically for you because um, let me just see. I got a notification. It's almost midnight where I'm at. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm making this video specifically for you, maybe because it'll help you with your depression a little bit. So I made a comment on your video about being depressed, and I saw you crying and all that, and um, my comment was something like, try learning magic tricks. And I know it seems like a relatively kind of silly thing because magic is maybe something you saw as a kid at a party. It's maybe something you've seen every now and then, like on TV. And and when you think of like decks of cards, like when you imagine decks of cards, you imagine like poker, and you imagine people like playing like poker and shit, like at like gambling, like at casinos and shit like that. But I've given this advice to actually like maybe only one other person. I don't think I have a video on my channel about it, but I've given this advice to one other person because I mean, I'm still in therapy, but I was in a program for young people who were experiencing depression. And this guy was like, I was just talking to this other dude who was in it was like a group we were doing on Wednesdays. And he said, like, we were just talking and we were talking about voices. And he was like, yeah, my voices are like, they sound like X, Y, and Z. They say this, like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, bro, have you ever tried writing down like specific voices, like on a piece of on like cards, and then kind of like shuffling the cards, um, like shuffling the cards and like playing around with the cards, and like maybe playing a game of like, I don't know, war or go fish with those cards. Like, have you ever tried that? And he was like, no, I haven't tried that. Damn, I can't really do it because of this angle. But this video will get better. This video is kind of shitty right now, but it will get better. Let me try to get to the part that I'm trying to get to. Is basically like, when you think about it, depression is negative thought patterns. I'll just tell you everything that I know about depression is that it's negative thought patterns. Um, it's disorganized thought. It's kind of like you're blowing things out of proportion a little bit. I think that's also a part of depression, is like, there's always help around us at all times. There's like so many sources of help that are unconventional that people don't really know about. And in my experience, I've only used unconventional means to help with depression. But I also had to accept help from people, which is why I'm hoping that you might actually try this advice that I'm giving you in this video. Is like the only way to help with depression in the beginning of it. I'm not saying the whole process, but in the beginning, you have to accept help from some source of wisdom or advice or experience. And I'm not saying I'm all that wise or anything, but uh, I've accepted help mainly from like online sources, but not people who were talking about depression. I'm just talking about like people who talked about life. And anyways, the point that I'm trying to get to is magic has been a huge, like, magic has been like a huge kind of support for me. And it's unconventional. It's not really talked about in the mental health field. magic is not used as a intervention for people with mental illness, but it can be the very thing that you need to help you feel like you are capable. And learning magic is really easy. You can go on YouTube and you can look at tutorials for magic and just buy a deck of cards from CVS or like a Dollar Tree or something. Just buy like a decent deck of cards and go home and try to practice those tricks. And and it will help you organize your thoughts a little bit. Um, it will help you organize your thoughts over time, like guaranteed. And if you can build up the confidence to perform it, well, in the very beginning, it's probably wise to perform it for either your mom, your dad, a sibling, a friend, or even your therapist. I think your therapist will get a kick out of it. But it's not just a little party trick that you're learning. Like it's actually magic is your brain has to be sophisticated enough in order to understand how to do it. I know little kids can perform magic, but as an adult, like when your brain is more sophisticated, like it's able to comprehend magic at a deeper level. And so when you learn these tricks, when you learn how they're done, and then when you practice performing them, you'll actually be training your brain to do all sorts of wonderful things. You know what I mean? Me personally, I practiced magic for like 3 years and I've learned over like 20 tricks. And then I performed three of them for complete strangers. I actually drove to a beach one time and performed on the beach. I went to a Japanese garden with koi fish, and I performed for a group of graduates who had just graduated college, and they were all taking their pictures. And I said like, "Hey, can I show you some tricks?" And they're like, "Wow, like, dude, our day just got like 10 times better. Like, not only are we graduating this weekend, but somebody's doing like a is performing magic for us. Like, how cool is this?" And I swear to God, like you'll hear people talk about magic mushrooms and how magic mushrooms can really help, but like, why do you think they call it magic mushrooms? Why do you think the term magic is used when talking about mushrooms that have psilocybin in them? It's because literally the effects of psilocybin are so similar to like to the are so similar to the experience of like witnessing magic or performing magic. Like there's so many similarities between them, like they're almost like the same experience. And magic has been performed for ages, and so I think we get that term magic. I mean, we get the term magic from other things as well. Like there's magic in lots of things, science and art and music. You know, there's magic in all sorts of things. But I think we get the term magic for the magic mushrooms because of performance magic, like card magic, cups and balls, things like that. And if you just if you just use your imagination a little bit, if you were to imagine yourself, like if you were to learn a trick, let's say you turn on YouTube, you look up a beginner magic trick, you looked at the tutorial, you learn it, and let's say you just after you've practiced it like 4 or 5 times or 20 times or 50 times, like once you've gotten it down into muscle memory, just take some time, just go to a park or go to somewhere nearby where maybe there's a table. There's like a public area, there's a table. Just sit down at that table and just imagine yourself performing that trick for someone at that table. And I guarantee you'll start to actually, I don't want to get like too like neurosciencey and say like, oh, you'll be releasing serotonin and endorphins and dopamine and like all this good shit. But it's because it's not really about magic, is not really about like what I'm talking about is it's not really about the neurochemicals up here. It's more about your heart. It's more about how you feel emotionally. And emotionally, you'll start to feel a lot better. And then that will produce positive thought patterns in your brain. So, I don't know. I want to keep this video short. I don't want to make it too long in case your attention span's not all that good. Mine isn't very good either. I don't really stick around for long videos. So, anyways, that's my advice. Buy a deck of cards, go on YouTube, just look at beginner magic tricks, um, learn one, practice it, try to practicing it between 20 and 50 times, and then go somewhere public, go to a public area and just sit down at like a bench or a table. Make sure there's like see if there's a flat surface somewhere and just imagine yourself performing for someone there. And really focus on your hands. When you imagine yourself doing this, imagine like focus mainly on your hands. Focus on your hands. Um, close your eyes and picture it. Imagine what that person looks like. Imagine what that spectator looks like. Because when you're practicing this trick in your room, you'll be imagining someone on the receiving end of the trick. And so just picture them. Are they a guy? Are they a girl? Are they attractive? Are they ugly? Is their voice high or is it low? Um, are they staring into your eyes, or are they kind of like, are their eyes kind of like averting your eyes? Like just try to picture them and just imagine yourself performing that trick for them. Guaranteed this will help. You may not become a professional magician overnight. And for me personally, I haven't performed a trick for anybody in about, it's not completely true. I perform for my therapist sometimes, but I haven't performed in public for a stranger in about 3 years. But it's always in my brain. All the hours that I spent practicing have not gone to waste. It's always a future possibility that maybe at some point in the future it'll be possible to get really good at it, to buy an outfit that really suits the occasion, and then I'll be performing for people in public at some point. So, anyways, hope this video helps. I'm gonna tag you in it so that you can watch it. And I don't know. I wouldn't pay too much attention to people who are just like, oh, think positive, or try new medication, or oh, I'm totally with you. Like, I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. I would have paid attention to something that you could actually do, which I think is what you're looking for. Um, yeah, I don't know. Just please don't judge this video too harshly. Anyways, peace. Have a good night.